Sorry, my phone cut off. So how does the character get from this point to this point, right? Conversations and decisions being made. This is the real meat of the story, where you fill it in. And then you dress that body with the things that make it personal, right? How does that body dress? So maybe we have dragons, maybe we don't have dragons, maybe we have a coffee shop and a group of friends. So it's how you dress that body, and it makes it, more fun to live in, and the sauce to your story, okay? So dragons alone cannot make the story. I wish they could, but we need the other parts. So let's talk about, I lost my notes. Okay, so back to what I was saying, the true heart of story is not what happens, it's who someone becomes, right? And then let's talk a little bit about events versus transformation. So lots of things can happen in a story. Big things, dangerous things, exciting things. But like I just said, the events by themselves do not create meaning. What creates meaning is transformation, okay? In Storycraft, we call this the character arc. And we've already talked about the story arc, aka what I just said is the skeleton, the bones of the story. Okay, now we have the character arc. So what is a character arc? A character arc is the inner journey of change. It is the movement from who the character was to who they are going to become or who they've become. Okay, so it's the most powerful, some of the most powerful stories follow a pattern like this, okay? The character begins with a false belief, something they think is true, but it isn't. And then the pressure and the conflict begin to challenge that belief, and the character faces choices, hard ones, and slowly through struggles that we connect with that character on, and we root for them, and we're like, no, don't do this, or do this. That all is in that part of it. And through some failures and some gained wisdom, through courage and gaining character traits such as like I learned this firsthand, or however it is that they've had to make some decisions, they move towards truth, okay? And that movement is the transformation. So again, the natural world shows us that nature around us already knows this pattern. We see the metamorphosis. We see a caterpillar becoming a butterfly. We see it in healing, okay? Skin repairing after injury. And we see it in erosion. Water slowly reshaping stones. We see it in growth through struggle. Nothing living stays the same forever. And stories, just like we've said, stories mirror life. The point of this month, in our Science Month, is we came from History Month, where we learned our roots. This is where stories have come from over time. Right? This is everywhere stories have come from. And in our Science Month, we're learning about how do good stories, how are they built? And this week we're talking about the conflict and the transformation and pressure. But we see these patterns in nature. So like we've talked about, humans don't just kind of come up with these patterns on their own. They have seen these and things around the world over time. So we're not just creating these patterns, we've noticed them and used them to in turn make stories. So let's talk about the next little bit here. So the power of choice. So something very important for you guys, you young storytellers, to understand is that change does not just happen to the character. The character must choose, okay, again and again. Small choices, big choices, courageous choices. The moment of choice is where transformation locks in. Because story is not just about pressure. It's about what the character does under that pressure. That's where we get the real aha, oh yay, this is where we're headed. This is what all of that was for, or what all that was for. It's that part of it. So by now we've seen the deeper pattern that the heart of story is who someone becomes. The events matter, absolutely. And because of how, but because of how they shape the person, the change. And that's what gives the story meaning. Without change, a story may be busy and a wonderful place to live in, but it won't feel powerful. It won't move us. We won't feel as connected to it, if that makes sense. So, final takeaway, a story is not about simply what just what happens. It's about who is changed. So, as you move into your own storytelling this week, I want you to watch for two things. Where is the pressure and who is being changed by it? Because the stories that stay with us, the ones that you will carry, that I have carried for years, that we all carry for years to come, the ones that feel alive in our bones and are always the ones where something went wrong and someone was transformed because of it.